Hello everyone, this is Dion Soul. I hope everyone is doing well. And as you see before you, we are sitting in the Cessna Grand Caravan. No, we're not. We are sitting in the Beechcraft Baron 58. And what we are doing today is we are doing a flight, a standard routine flight in NeoFly, which NeoFly has been updated already. And of course, we got the guy clipping in behind the scenes that you guys don't see. But anyway, so what's going on is we're just taking a flight today to Grand Canyon and in the Baron 58, and I upgraded to the Baron 58 from the Cessna 172. Took out a loan, and so now I got the cargo capacity I need, because anything above 1,000 pounds you start making money with NeoFly. Anything less than that, it's hit and miss. You know, it just depends on what you get. You know. If you get market missions with a small airplane, then you can make money. But anything more than that, if you don't have market missions, strictly regular missions, then you're definitely want to have 1,000 pounds or greater and go 250 nautical miles or greater, and then you're okay. So that means you need a fast airplane. At least that's been my experience so far. So anyway, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and take off here and get going. I guess I don't really want to hit that aeroplane. But anyway, everything is Microsoft Flight Simulator did this. This is World Update number 5, as you can see in the text above what version number this is. It's hard to see with that with my little bitty screen there, but yeah, it's all right. I've been having a hit and miss experience with this latest update. In some situations, I have gotten better frames than I was before, I've noticed. But as far as crashes to desktop and whatnot, it's been more frequent than before, I've noticed, which is most unfortunate. But that's just the way it is until Microsoft or Asobo, whoever you want to blame, works it out. So we were told in our briefing to get to runway 13 right is we got to cross 13 or 31 right, 31 left, or 31 right, excuse me. So we got to cross this runway to get to. We are in Palm Springs, and that's why you see what you see here. It is got some cloud action going on today, even though the ATIS said it was clear. So that was kind of funny. I'm sitting there saying clear, 12 or 10 nautical mile visibility. Well, they got the 10 nautical mile visibility correct, but as far as clear is concerned, no. So the ATIS wasn't correct, but that's okay. I do have the settings to live traffic and live people and live traffic, and you can see all the aeroplanes there, which is cool. Like I say, my frame rates are not the best in the world. I just need a better computer, but no money, so got to go with the hand I'm dealt. That's life. I did say that I had to go to, I think I'm at left. Or I was supposed to be at left. Aren't I? Yeah, there's only one. I think he said left. If he did, oh, he went with 3-1 right. Okay, well, we're taking off at 3-1 left. 3-1 right. No, we're right. We're good. We're good. And corrected here. So everything is fine. Everything is set. So I'll go ahead and talk to ATC and let's GTFO. Let's take off.
Palm Springs Tower Beechcraft November 502 Delta Mike at runway 13 right, ready for departure, north departure.
Beechcraft November 502 Delta Mike altimeter 29.8 wind com north departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 13 right.
All lights on, everything is good. I'll acknowledge, and then we will get out of here.
Cleared for takeoff runway 13 right, Beechcraft 2 Delta Mike.
Go ahead and set up our altitude. I planned on 7,500 feet. I don't need to go up to the sky. I'm going to go ahead and redo my indicated airspeed climb, my flight change to 120 knots. Runway heading, I'm going to put that at 13. So let me Go ahead and put this to 13 here on my heading. And I'll go ahead and let's see what else I need to do. Autopilot, make sure CDI is set to GPS. That is all fine there. Let's go ahead and do this so I don't have to stumble and fumble with this later. We'll put the wind direction set up, the bearing. Going to be GPS, and then nav 1, which, you know, whatever. We are sporting the Microsoft Flight Simulator at the Microsoft Marketplace working titles first rendition of the NXI, the G1000 NXI package is free over on the Microsoft Flight Simulator store. Some of the features work with it, some of it doesn't. But all in all, it is better than the out of the box, but you know, a little bit better. But I think it'll get better over time. So, and I think I heard an airplane. I guess not. Okay, well, anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and release park brake. Let's go. We'll get the flight director turned on here. Flight director turned on. We will take off. Warp speed. All lights on. Everything is good. God have mercy on our souls. So here we go. With this update, I noticed I just do just a little bit of fractions, and I'm going to have to do some modification to my
Transporter from dispatch. Fly safe.
Uh-oh. Oh, the reason why I said uh-oh is because... Okay, thank you.
Palm Springs Tower Beechcraft November 502 Delta Mike continue for north departure.
The reason why I said uh-oh is because when for some reason, the SciTech Cessna nose wheel trim that I have, the peripheral I have outside the sim, every time I got to get in the habit of actually syncing it up with the sim before I even start the flight, and I keep on forgetting to do that. It's just kind of a mental checklist that I need to start doing, and so what it does is if you don't do that and you're trying to take off and you're trying to do a video like I'm doing right now, it'll lock the sim up, and it's just like, okay, and then sometimes it'll actually crash the sim to desktop, which is very annoying, because then I have to start everything all over again, and that's not cool. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. The sim itself, it looks like it's gotten a little better, and like I said, I've gotten a little bit better frames. Like I say, in some situations, like right here, this looks damn good. I mean, I'm really impressed with this. There's a lot of golf courses here in Palm Springs, as you can see, and whatnot. And also this livery that you see, which we'll take a look outside once I get stable. But yeah, it's really nice. We'll just line up to the first VOR here, and then I'll activate the autopilot. Which would be Palm Springs VOR, which I'm pointing the nose at right now. Alright, autopilot on, navigation on, GPS. We're going to do flight level change. Flight level change, I'm going to do 120 knot climb. Let the autopilot do its thing, and I think I need to put the gear up too, by the way. Might help if I do that now. Gear is up, and you hear the sound change. Go ahead and put our cowling flaps up. So cowling flaps are now up. And I think we are good to go, full power. I'm going to pull back on our mixture just a little bit. as we're doing a climb. And we are good to go. Now we can take a look outside because now the computer's controlling everything. So it's a new livery that we get with this latest version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is really cool. It's a nice looking livery. I like it. But like I said, I've noticed that the, at least maybe it's the summertime orthos or whatever they call it that they're using for the textures for the ground textures. They seem to be more detailed. And my settings haven't changed. I mean, I've been using the same settings you see me use before. Clouds look pretty good. So, so besides the crashes, if I can get around the crashes issues that I have, other than that, the flight sim has been fine. You know, it just crashes, and the crashes could be a combination of my mods. I have some mods installed, but not a lot of them. I have the PMS5, which is the GTN 750 that we're not using today because we are using the, Microsoft Marketplace working titles G1000 NXI that we talked about earlier. A matter of fact, we can go into that a little bit as we are climbing here. You can see it's a little bit different than what the Microsoft Flight Simulator out of the box version is. You do have a checklist, charts, and details. None of those buttons work, or at least I haven't been able to get them to work on my side of things. Let's see. Let me go ahead and adjust my mixture a little bit here. Because like I said, we're wrapping this bad boy out here. And we're already at 7,500 feet, so we'll go ahead and pull back on our props. We're going to do a high-speed cruise just to get to where we need to go. Probably do 2,600 RPM. And props with this latest version, I think the previous version of the G58, the Baron G58, the prop sync switch worked. Now, this prop sync switch no longer works, and I don't know why, but it doesn't for me anyway. I can only speak for myself. That's been my experience so far, which is most unfortunate. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, I just deal with it and compensate accordingly. But I noticed that that hasn't worked. But anyway, as far as the NXI, the freebie NXI, and I don't know why we're set to flight following. I didn't ask for that. That's another thing I've noticed, that for some reason I've been getting the now let me see if it's automatically turned itself on. No, it didn't turn itself on here. This is the flight assistant actually has got some new features here. Auto trim, auto radio communications or whatever. But unless I accidentally hit it, which I could have when I was doing my takeoff. But we do need to put on the pitot heat. There we go. But yeah, sometimes it'll automatically for me start the automatic flight following, which is kind of bizarre. And it could be the area that I'm at too, because I'm in a class Bravo airspace or Charlie. I don't know what Palm Springs is. I'd have to look it up. Not important because we're going out of the area anyway. But anyway, so we're in flight following mode, so like whatever. But like I said, the NXI, I think it's one of those situations where it'll get better over time. And the new buzzword, or I don't know how new it is, but I've been noticing that developers say that, all, like with this NXI, it's a early access build, and I guess that's why it's free. I guess, I don't know, but yeah, so it's early access, and because they're using the keywords early access, if something doesn't work with the product, that is they're out. That is their excuse. They can say, well, it's early access, so you're getting what you get because it's early access. I think that you're going to see that early access buzzword start to populate all of the all of our add-on peripherals over time. They're steering their way from a word as final release, buzzword. So then that way, if something doesn't work, well, that way they can use that excuse, and it takes them supposedly off the hook. But so that's something to be mindful when you're buying a product. Case in point with the PMS5 GTN 750, that one would be considered an early access, because there's a lot of things that does not work. I went ahead and did a lifetime, for lack of a better term, lifetime subscription to that product, because I was extremely high the fact that it uses Airways. I like putting in my own flight plan into the avionics package. I like that. I get geeked out on that. But there's a level of that, and unfortunately, the flight plan only works part way when you're putting the flight plan in. And what I mean by that is that with the GTN 750, I bought it with the intent of I'm going to give you a flight plan example. Let's say I'm leaving my home base at KWJF in Lancaster, California, USA. What I would do is, now this is all based on my personal experience that I've had with the Reality XP on the X-Plane platform GTN 750. So I'm basing my user experience based on using that product. With that product, I put in, and probably the real world's the same way. I don't know. I had never experienced the real world, so I don't know on the GTN 750. But what it does is I put in KWJF as my departure airport. Then my first waypoint to get on Victor Airway 12 is the Palmdale VOR, which is PMD. And then once I put the PMD in there, then I could go into and then click on the Victor Airway 12, and then look at the waypoints for my exit point, which would be if I want to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and if I want to go to KABQ as an example, I click on KABQ as my destination airport, and then the exit for the Victor Airway 12 would be ABQ, which is the VOR for that area. And once I would do that, it would populate any waypoint associated with Victor Airway 12 from point A to point B. They all populate into the flight plan with the GTN 750 by Reality XP on the X-Plane platform. Sadly, I was expecting that same functionality with the PMS5 GTN 750 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it doesn't do it. It gets me to I believe I'm doing this from memory now, so don't hold me to it. But it only gets me like just out, not even to Basel, which is which is an intersection point that crosses between different Victor Airways. And the reason why I'm using that one as an example is because I'm familiar with Victor Airway 12, because I've done that several times over the years with flight planning. And so it only goes not even to Basel, it goes the one waypoint before Basel, and then it just dies. It doesn't give me other waypoints. So all the waypoints between Basel, at Basel all the way to KABQ are not available on the PMS5. And I don't know if it's because I don't know where they're getting their database from. I thought they were going to be getting it from Navigraph, because you connect the Navigraph to the PMS5, the GTN 750. So I assumed, which is probably a bad thing to do, I assumed that's what I was going to be getting, and unfortunately didn't get it. So I spent $93 US on the lifetime for the PMS5 for the GTN 750. So at this juncture, I'm just spending that money that I'm hoping one day that they will get everything working with that product over time. Because right now I'm basically butthurt over it. There's nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. So it's just disappointing. So do I recommend the PMS5 GTN 750? If you want to dip your toes in the other features that it has, which there is some other features that I was expecting them to work that don't. The fuel planning, I was expecting to work with it. I was expecting the decision height. The vertical navigation does work with it, so I'll give them props for that. But like I said, the fuel planning, the trip planning, where it would tell you, from this waypoint to this waypoint, it's going to be so many minutes. How much fuel you're going to burn between that point, how much fuel is left in the tank with the fuel planning, what your endurance is, all that sort of stuff. All that stuff does not work with the PMS5 GTN 750 for the Microsoft Flight Simulator platform. None of that works, whereas on the X-Plane platform, it all does. So, again, I don't know if that's the fault of the developer, the PMS5 developer, or if there's other factors that I'm not aware of that's causing all those functionality not to work. And they do say on their their disclaimer, their early access disclaimer, the PMS5, is that they say that, well, this is not going to have the same functionality as if it was using the trainer database, which tells me that is their out. And so that's why at this juncture, because they're throwing all these little caveats, like, well, don't blame us. If they're having that kind of caveats, then it's like, nah, don't give them any money. I wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend giving them any money, because you don't get that much functionality over, you do get Navigraph charts into it, but that's it. Well, I should say that's it. But there's a few other little things with the justification of giving them, 25 euros for a yearly sub, or $93 for a lifetime sub. Is it worth it? I don't think so. But that's subjective. That's me and me using it and having my experience, my personal experience by using the Reality XP's GTN 750. To me, it's not worth giving them any money for. And I hate to do that, because I've given them money. I want their product to be the best, which in turn I would reap the rewards as a customer of theirs. But it's not that way, so I wouldn't. Whereas here, this NXI is free out of the box, and they actually have. It's not bad. If you go in over here, and if you go in here to flight plan, I can scroll on down. Let's say I want to put in another waypoint. I can actually go in here, click on this waypoint right here, click on this, and I have this little bitty button right here. We're not going to do it because I don't want to screw up my flight plan on this particular flight. But if you do, you have this little bitty button right here, and when you click on that, now you have keyboard control, which is awesome. That right there is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion. Having the ability to be able to use your own keyboard to be able to put in a flight plan, that saves a lot of time, headache, and aggravation than trying to use this stupid dial down here. This dial works perfectly in the real world, no problem. I would guess. I don't know. I've never used the G1000 in the real world, but I would guess that this interface is just fine in the real world, but here in the sim, you know, having the way it is, and when you're having the aircraft bouncing around or whatever, it does become very cumbersome and whatnot. So now, and I always use the clear button as the back button for a lack of. But anyway, so this is good, and this is a step in the right direction. It says my top of climb is going to be at an hour and 53 minutes, 48 minutes, and it's constantly adjusting. So this is good. You know, that feature right there for this makes it a lot easier. Makes the G1000 a lot easier to use. I see we got a bit of a tailwind. So very good. So anyway, I'm just going to static the image right here, and then we will catch you on landing. So I will see you guys shortly. There's the airport. It wasn't automatically syncing myself up. I was out of position. Always gonna be my fault, so why not? The way it always is. Always pilot error. And I need to answer her.
Beechcraft 2 Delta, Mike, please acknowledge.
I did. There he goes.
Cleared to land runway 3 Beechcraft 2 Delta Mike.
Fine, we'll just do it the hard way. We'll land by hand. Because I was out of position. Gear come out there. I better get back inside or I'm going to miss. Lined up with the runway here.
500.
Easy. Fresh runway.
Transporter from dispatch. Nice landing. Go to the next parking and put your parking brake on. I'll be in touch.
Wish I recorded the flight so I can show you the landing. I just didn't do it. I didn't think about it. Multitasking. That's one thing that Microsoft Flight Simulators do. They just need to have an automatic, or just automatically records. That way if you forget,
Delta, Mike turn, next taxiway.
you forget, it'll automatically record anyway like X-Plane does, and you can go back and review the flight. They want me to turn in right here? Fine.
Beechcraft 2 Delta, Mike contact ground on 121.9er.
Welcome to Canyon, Grand Canyon Air Park, or whatever it's called. And I will acknowledge my handoff.
Going to 121.9er Beechcraft 2 Delta Mike.
And request taxi to parking.
Canyon ground Beechcraft November 502 Delta Mike request taxi to parking.
Beechcraft November 502 Delta Mike taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Delta Papa.
Delta Papa. And we'll make them happy. Close enough. The parking brake.
Transporter. Cargo unloading in progress. Stand by, pilot.
Stand by, pilot. So, over here, while it's doing its factor. Hey, there I am. Hi. Okay, so it's doing its thing right there. Supposed to make 23,000. We didn't have any events for us to make any more money, so we'll take what we got.
Transporter. Another cargo mission well done. Thanks and see you soon.
Hey, Kay, bye. Thank you. All right, so we are good to go. Made a little cash for the company. Looking good there. So another successful flight, which is good. Yeah, I bought the during my off time of not flying, I did buy the the Seneca 5 by Coronado, and the aircraft is fine and all, but it doesn't carry any weight. I can only carry like for Neo Fly, I can only carry about I can only carry about 350 pounds, and that's about it with that aircraft. It's just very with fuel and everything, you know, going 200 nautical miles to make the money and that sort of thing. About 350 miles, so that was really a disappointment. And of course, I talked about earlier about and the other reason why I bought that aircraft, because of the native integration of the PMS5 GTN 750, which we already know about my disappointment about that, because I've already discussed that earlier at the start of this video. So here I am back on the stock, Baron G58, and seem to get better, better use out of the G58 than I do with the Seneca. So I kind of wasted money on both the Coronado and the PMS5 in that regard. So it is what it is. Sometimes you hit things out of the park, hit the ball out of the park, and other times you strike out and fail. And those particular two items there, I'm just going to have to give that a fail. As far as functionality, as far as prettiness and everything, I'll do a video on that eventually regarding the Coronado Seneca 5. I'll do a video on it because I got to put up YouTube or content on my YouTube channels and Odyssey channels and whatnot. So I will do one eventually. But as far as raw functionality, getting use out of a product, just the out of the box G58, I'm fine. I'm working. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was informative and entertaining. I know I'm not much of an entertainer, but I do what I can. So I'll catch you guys next time on another exciting FS excursions, where we'll go somewhere and do something. And like I say, eventually I will do that video on the Seneca 5 by Coronado. Definitely like, subscribe, and with this video, and definitely throw a comment or two down there. I greatly appreciate it. Tell me what I did right, tell me what I did wrong, that sort of thing. Always good feedback is always good, especially when it's constructive criticism or just praise. I'll take it. So you guys take care and you have yourselves a great one. I'll catch you guys next time. Later, guys. Bye.